Hello and welcome to Sports Center. My name is Josh Okan.
Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but I just received breaking news that 2 bombs exploded at the finish line of the Boston Marathon today at 2:49 p.m. on April 15th, 2013. This was the 117th annual running of the Boston Marathon. The finish line was on Boylston Street, which was where the bombs exploded. So far, there have been 3 deaths and 264 injuries. An 8-year-old boy by the name of Martin Richard is among those who have died as a result of the bombs. As you can see from the video, there are plenty of first responders taking the initiative to help out those who have been injured. Investigators are still trying to identify other people who have been injured and who have died in the attack. The investigators are still not 100% sure if it was a terrorist attack because they are still trying to figure out who planted the 2 pressure cooker bombs at the finish line of the Boston Marathon. We will be sure to update you with more information when it comes in.
Hello, my name is Josh Okan and you are watching Sports Center. We're going to start with baseball today. Now let's head up to Fenway Park where the Boston Red Sox are hosting their first home game since the Boston Marathon bombing tragedy, only 5 days after. In the pregame, David Ortiz delivered one of the most memorable speeches that was probably even more significant than the game itself. Take a listen.
All right, Boston. This jersey that we wear today, it doesn't say Red Sox. It say Boston. We want to thank you, Mayor Menino, Governor Patrick, the whole police department, for the great job that they did this past week. This is our city. And nobody gonna dictate our freedom. Stay strong. Thank you.
Hello, and welcome to Sports Center. The MLB regular season has finally concluded, and one storyline that we can't stop looking at is how successful the Boston Red Sox were this season. They literally went from worst in the 2012 season to first in the 2013 season. In 2012, they had a record of 69-93. This year, they hold the best record in the MLB at 97-65. They are obviously the AL East division champions, meaning that they now have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. This is the first time that they have won the division since the year 2007. That was the last year they also won the World Series. Who knows, maybe it's an omen. They were able to score a league-leading 853 runs this season, and no one can really point to where the success is. The Red Sox think it's all in the beards, but no one knows. You have to appreciate those fans, though. The Boston Strong, the Boston Faithful, continuing to support their team, even through this whole entire year of tragedy and the Boston Marathon bombing. They continue to support their team to lift them up and hopefully bring them another championship. Let's see if they can do it in October. Hello, my name is Josh Okan and you are watching Sports Center. Wow, what an exhilarating night of playoff baseball last night. Let's get right to it.
Last night was Game 2 of the American League Championship Series between the Detroit Tigers and the Boston Red Sox. On the mound, Max Scherzer of the Tigers was facing off against Clay Buchholz of the Red Sox. Scherzer was pitching a lights-out game. He struck out 13 Red Sox players, and he had a no-hitter going 5 2/3 innings into the game. Almost every player on the Red Sox went down swinging at least once, including the big-time Red Sox slugger, David Ortiz, Big Papi. Buckles was pitching a decent game on the other side of the rubber, but he really fell apart in the 6th inning when he gave up a home run to Miguel Cabrera and another home run to Alex Avila, and finally a double to Victor Martinez. This gave the Tigers a 4-run 6th inning, which made the score 5-0 Detroit Tigers. Red Sox were able to strike back in the bottom of the 6th with a double by Dustin Pedroia to knock in Shane Victorino, but that was the only damage that they were able to do in the bottom of the 6th. Therefore, the score became 5-1 in favor of Detroit. Heading into the bottom of the 8th inning, the Detroit Tigers had a 97% chance of winning the game. Sadly, it was starting to look like all of the Red Sox's efforts over the season were going to go down the drain. The Red Sox were about to go down 2-0 in the best-of-7 series heading to Detroit, which is never a good thing. After all of the hard work of the Red Sox throughout the season, it was starting to look like the Red Sox would have no chance of making it to the World Series. However, the 8th inning got interesting. In the 8th inning, Stephen Drew led it off with a groundout, but Will Middlebrooks of the Red Sox doubled. Following Will Middlebrooks' double, Jacoby Ellsbury walked, and Victorino struck out. With 2 outs and men on first and second, Dustin Pedroia stepped to the plate, and he hit a single to load up the bases for none other than David Ortiz, Big Papi. After striking out twice earlier in the night, he knew that right then was his moment to shine. With bases loaded, 2 outs, and the Red Sox down 5-1 in the game, Big Papi could have either let the Red Sox go down 2-0 in the series or try to tie up the game in the series. On the first pitch that David Ortiz saw, grand slam over the right field wall. It has been said that after the Detroit Tigers' outfielder Torrey Hunter dove over the right field wall to track down Big Papi's grand slam, his legs, along with the policeman's outstretched celebratory arms, formed a W. The W stood for win. This was said to be a sign by many Red Sox fans that the W for win meant that the Red Sox were going to win that night. Sure enough, in the 9th inning, Johnny Gomes of the Red Sox led off the inning with a single, only to be followed with Jared Saltalamacchia's single. A single that was a walk-off single. The Red Sox won the game 6-5 off of Jared Saltalamacchia's walk-off single.
This just goes to show that the Red Sox learned from their own fans. After the Boston Marathon bombing tragedy, Boston grew stronger and became Boston strong. The people of Boston cried together, they healed together, and they remained tough together after such a tragedy, which proved that the terrorists definitely messed with the wrong city. The people of Boston looked to the leaders of the Boston community, such as the Red Sox players, to help them bounce back to normalcy, which took a while, but the resiliency of the Boston-based people were able to do. But in Game 2 of the American League Championship Series, the players of the Boston Red Sox used their own fans as an example of how to bounce back when the going got tough. And in doing so, the Boston Red Sox were able to win Game 2 of the American League Championship Series and tie it up 1-1.